was released in 2000 and was Edward Yang's final film. And in this film, each member of a middle-class family living in Taipei have to reconcile with their pasts when the family matriarch falls ill and falls into a coma. So this will actually be the first time I've done more than one rewind on the same director. I previously reviewed A Brighter Summer Day, and I was kind of disappointed with that review. I was unsatisfied with it because I tried to do it off the top of my head. I didn't take any notes on it when I did it, and I filmed it with a bunch of other videos. So I said that it took place in Thailand, which was obviously incorrect. It took place in Taiwan. Edward Yang is from Taiwan, and this movie takes place in Taipei. So I wanted to correct myself when it came to that, because that still bothers me. Yi Yi is also a very highly regarded film in several different outlets, especially on Letterboxd. It is one of those movies that I saw the poster of first before I knew anything about it. I remember seeing it years ago when I was in Barnes & Noble and just kind of wondering what it was about. And then, of course, once I was aware of it, looked into reviews for it and how highly regarded it is. So it's been on my watch list for a while, and I finally got around to it and can understand the hype around it. But like I said, the movie is about a middle-class family in Taipei. The movie mainly follows NJ, a businessman, and his two children, Ting Ting, a teenage girl, and Yang Yang, an 8-year-old boy. The movie also has several smaller plot lines that follow NJ's brother and wife. The movie starts with NJ's brother's wedding, and shortly after, their mother, or the grandmother of the family, has a stroke and falls into a coma. Because of this, it sets off a chain of events where NJ's wife feels like she needs to get away from the family for a while because she feels unfulfilled with her life and wants to kind of find herself again. NJ reconnects with his first love. Ting Ting gets into her kind of first relationship, and Yang Yang is kind of discovering life in a way. And it's because of the emotional distress that the grandmother puts on them when she falls into a coma. However, with Edward Yang's style, he doesn't overplay the dramatic aspect of this. He actually focuses on the more day-to-day lives and smaller parts of each character. And because he follows the daily experiences of each character, it ends up becoming kind of a philosophical look at life. One thing I particularly like about Yang's direction is that everything he does feels intentional and precise. He lets you actually sit in the scenes with the characters, and he keeps everything flowing at a good pace. The movie rarely feels like it's dragging, but he avoids rushing any of the scenes, finding a really good balance in the editing. And if there is one word I could use to describe this movie, it is introspective. This is one of the most introspective movies I've ever seen, and it is Edward Yang's final film. And you can't help but get the feeling that it is kind of him looking at his own life and putting that experience into this movie, because it is a very reflective, both literally and figuratively, a movie. But it also avoids leaning towards any type of definite optimism or pessimism. It's just an analysis of life. One thing that I really like that he does is he constantly uses reflection in his camera movements and his shots. So someone might be having a conversation and the camera will almost wander to a reflection of the characters instead of them themselves. Or a character will be framed in a reflection in a silent moment, literally showing their internal reflection. Some scenes don't even show the action of the scene, instead it'll focus on something static in the room, letting the audio of the action play out. He makes you feel like you are a person in that scene watching what's happening. Some things might be too private to actually be involved with, so you listen to it instead from the other room. The movie also tackles regret and past relationships with all of the adult characters throughout. Of course, one of the main stories with NJ and his long-lost first love, a lot of it is about kind of the regret of not staying together and knowing that if they did try to get back together it would ruin their current lives and families. So there's a lot of pain there, and I think that that was probably the most interesting plot line in the movie. NJ's brother, Adi, is a gambling addict, so he always has problems with money, and several of the scenes do work with him, although there is one part of his kind of subplot that I didn't think was as strong as the rest of the movie. I didn't find it as interesting as some of the other storylines, but it still worked to a really good extent because of Edward Yang's direction. The acting is really good across the board. The actor who plays NJ is really, really good. And then the child actors are also really, really good in their roles too. That is some of the best child acting that you'll find in really any movies. However, Edward Yang's writing and directing is easily the best part of this movie. He's able to make simplicity interesting and captures the mindsets of his characters incredibly well. While, like I said, the main adults' stories are about regrets, the kids, especially Yang Yang's story, address philosophy and finding meaning in life through the curiosity of childhood. Ting Ting's story is a mixture of both concepts. She's experiencing new aspects of life through new friends and the possibility of love, while feeling responsible for her grandmother's condition. And on the flip side of Yang Yang, Mr. Oda, a potential buyer for NJ's company, spells out the movie's philosophy through his wisdom in his interactions with NJ. Oda is played by Issei Ogata and steals every scene he's in. He's easily the most memorable supporting character in the movie, and each scene he's in is utterly compelling and immersive because of his screen presence. The movie in general has a very interesting outlook on life. While I probably don't understand every aspect of its philosophy, I found it to be a completely unique experience with really any movie I've ever seen, and it also makes you look at your own life through several different lenses. I'm honestly not sure whether or not I prefer this to A Brighter Summer Day. I think that one has more of an epic feeling, but this is also one of the most unique experiences I've ever had watching a movie, like I just said, and is one that I have constantly thought about since I've seen it. And there are a lot of strengths to this movie that I don't think A Brighter Summer Day had, and vice versa. So I think they're pretty even across the board. It's hard to say which one is better. I do think that Yang's direction in general is amazing and is about as close to perfect as you can get. I think that the lasting effect of this movie definitely moves it up a little bit for me, and I highly, highly recommend watching it. I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea because it is kind of an art house movie, but I think it's entirely worth the watch. I thought it was incredible, and it has had a very lasting effect on me since I've watched it. So I'm going to be rating Yi Yi a 10 out of 10. Now, what did you guys think of it? What's your favorite Edward Yang film? Let me know, and I'll be back with another video.